Talking 24, the health and information podcast from NHS 24.
In the second episode of Talking 24, we're with Janice Houston and Susan Docherty. They speak about the services that NHS 24 offers and what happens when you call the 111 service.
Hello, welcome to Talking 24, the place where we talk all things NHS 24. Today we are going to talk about what happens when you call NHS 24's 111 service, and also try and get an idea, a sense of the people who are at the other end of the line when you dial 111. My name is Lisa Dransfield. I am not one of the people at the other end of the line. Few, say everybody that actually knows me. But I'm joined today by two people who are there to help you when you need that help during the out of hours period. Janice Houston and Susan Docherty. Janice Houston first, Associate Director of Nursing.
Janice Houston, Associate Director of Operations and Nursing.
Righty ho. What operations like cutting people open and stitching up operations?
No. Operations like running the delivery arm of the Treble 1 service, along with many, many colleagues.
Right, okay. But you are a nurse.
I'm a nurse. I'm the clinical lead for the Treble 1 service. I'm delighted to say I've been a nurse for 36 years, but please don't work out my age. But yeah, it's been an exciting... I've been with NHS 24 for 17 years and have really enjoyed that. It's a very different aspect to my career.
Brilliant. We'll talk about the different style of nursing here at NHS 24 in a bit. But first I want Susan Docherty to say hello. Now, Susan, I'm definitely going to get your job title right. I promise. It's Senior Call Handler.
It is.
What does that mean?
So I was initially a call handler. Like Janice, I've worked here for 16 years. So I used to answer calls. I sometimes occasionally still do take calls into Treble 1. But I manage a team of call handlers, and also I assist the team leaders on the operational floor. So if anybody has any non-clinical queries, I would help with that. Any technical queries, I help staff, nurses, call handlers, pharmacists with any queries that they have that are non-clinical.
So it's kind of the background role to make sure that the call handlers are supported so that the calls can be taken.
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic.
And if there's any, if I need to take over a call for a call handler, maybe they just can't get the information from the caller, or it's a particularly challenging call for that call handler, I'm there to step in and help.
Okay. So what happens when you call 111? First of all, when should you call 111, Janice?
You can phone 111 at any time. We're actually here 24/7. You would phone 111 if you had concerns about your health and well-being. There are particular times of the week, days of the week and times of the day when the Treble 1 service is exceptionally busy. A Saturday and a Sunday being our two busiest days. However, if you have concerns and you think that you can manage your illness yourself, we have other ways to help you. You can go on to our website, NHS Inform, and look at our self-help guides and see if they can give you some self-care advice prior to phoning. However, there are other things. You can go and talk to your local pharmacist. But if you have concerns and you want to phone the Treble 1 service, we are here 24/7. And we are the gateway to the out-of-hours service, particularly in the evenings and weekends. But we are here all day and can give you advice and help if you feel that you want to have a conversation with us.
The one thing I would say, although we're called NHS 24, and you're right, we do have people here 24 hours a day, during the in-hours period, that's what it's called, isn't it, which is from 8 till 6, the primary source of information for folk would be their general practice. Is that right?
That's right. The general practitioners are open 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And we then front the out-of-hours period, which starts at 6 o'clock in the evening and runs straight through to 8 o'clock the following morning. 90% of the calls in the Treble 1 service come in the out-of-hours period, and obviously over the weekend and public holidays, which can be exceptionally busy days for NHS 24 and the health service in general.
One of the ways that people can get help 24 hours a day, quickly and easily, of course, is via our online health information service, NHS Inform. A lot of people don't know that is our service and how connected it is to the 111 service, do they?
No, and I think it's been a huge thing recently to try and publicise that advice and help is there. And often it's quicker to go online and look at NHS Inform, even prior to calling the 111 service. If you thought that is it time to call or is it not, then working your way through some of our self-help guides can help you make that decision.
So someone's decided to call 111 and they come through, and Susan, they would speak to one of your guys first of all, a call handler. So it'd be a call handler. At what point do you link in with the clinical guys? How does that work? Call handler to clinician, be it nurse or physiotherapist or whatever?
Once you phone into the 111 service, you have a number of recorded messages that you would listen to, and we would ask you to press 1 or 2 so we can direct your calls. We have what's called seasonal initiative, and that can help, particularly coming up to winter. We've got lots of people phoning with coughs and colds, so it may be that you go through to a call handler on seasonal initiative, or you come through to likes of myself taking your call, and we would then ask what's your reason for calling? The reason we would ask that is, we want to be able to direct them to get them the best help as quickly as possible. So sometimes people phone, and even though they've maybe listened to, could they potentially be having a stroke? If so, dial 999. Sometimes people just, come through to us, and we would ask initially what is wrong with them, obviously the conscious and breathing. So if not, we would require to get an ambulance. We also take their telephone number straight away, because if we get disconnected from that caller, we need to make sure that we can get back to them straight away. So there are a few questions that I think sometimes maybe general public could think are frustrating at first, because they just want to get through to a nurse or a physiotherapist or a mental health nurse. But we do need to take these calls and answer these questions as quickly as possible, so we can get them through to either a nurse or a pharmacist.
It's all about being safe, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the main point. Is safety is the main thing for the caller. So if they do get disconnected, we've always got a telephone number to get back to them.
And I think it's also important to add that all our team leaders are senior nurses.
Absolutely, yes.
And they're on our clinical floors at all times to make sure, because even at the beginning of a call, something serious can happen with a patient, and so they are ready at any point to take that call over. So all of our calls are clinically supervised at all points, even prior to them being passed over to a nurse or a pharmacist or a physiotherapist.
When I first started working at NHS 24, I was surprised by what it was like on the clinical floor or operational floor. We call it both of those things, don't we? About how it can be really, really busy, but every single person that you see and they're taking a call, they are completely focused on that caller, on that patient.
Yeah, and I think, just by the fact that our staff all wear uniforms, the same as any other part of the health service, it is a clinical environment. So when patients call, it's a one-to-one with the patient and the call handler, and then when they transfer the call over to whichever clinician is the most appropriate, again, it's a one-to-one between the patient and the clinician. And, some calls go directly to a referral to another health board, whether it's a doctor or a primary care emergency centre or a minor injuries unit. But many calls end in self-care and self-help between the nurse and the patient. And some are directed to a local pharmacy, for example. So we have many, many options and many referral patterns within NHS 24. It is just making sure it's the right place at the right time and it's clinically appropriate. All our calls are managed in a clinically appropriate way. So we would attempt always to talk to the most seriously unwell person first.
And of course, got a lot of experience in this. I mean, you guys have respectively 16 years, Susan, 17 years, Janice. Whew! What makes you stay? Seriously, what is it? I mean, that's a long time for people to be. I mean, there's obviously career progression and so on, and NHS 24 has changed hugely, even in the 6.5 years that I've been here. Is that what motivates people to stay?
I think it is. I think it's also NHS 24 is still a relatively young health board, and we don't operate in a traditional manner. We work within contact centres, and we are now coming into lots more digital first approach to managing and supporting self-care for people. So it's an always changing environment. I've changed my role several times since I joined NHS 24 17 years ago. Changed location, changed roles, etc. And our engagement is always with people, whether it's with our own staff. And we have a huge mix of skill sets within our directorate, which is called service delivery. So we're the delivery arm of the 111 service and other services within NHS 24. So it's an exciting place to work because it's always changing. I think, Susan, I'll let you see what you think.
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, I've worked here for 16 years, and I first started as a call handler in Clydebank when we first opened in November, I can't remember,
2002.
2002.
Can't do sums.
Can't do sums, 2002. And my role as a call handler then was basically take the details and pass to a nurse. So the role as a call handler has evolved. And I think, no two calls are the same. You could take a call about somebody with a sore throat, and then you could take a call with somebody who's, potentially life-threatening. So I think that's what keeps a lot of the staff here within NHS 24. And for me, I've gone from a call handler now to a senior call handler. And like Janice has said, it's constantly changing. The service has changed a huge amount in this 16 years, and we are still very young, a very young health board. But I think if you spoke to a lot of the staff, it would be because, they really enjoy working here within the contact centre. The weekends and over Christmas and New Year, it can be challenging, but we try and make it, a nice environment to work in. We do lots of different things for staff, dress down, we try and organise things at Christmas. So, it's a nice place to come to work at Christmas when it can be a challenging time, being away from your family and things like that, but we try and make it as nice as possible for them to come to work.
I think it's also important to say, although we're a standalone health board, we work in partnership with all other health boards in Scotland, and we are actually electronically connected to our other 14 territorial health boards, and we are actually co-located in 3 of our main sites with the Scottish Ambulance Service. So we work very collaborative with other parts of the health service, which is a nice place to be. In fact, the centre that we're sitting in today, at one end we have the Scottish Ambulance Service, NHS 24 in the middle, and at the end it's Greater Glasgow and Clyde out of our service. So I think it is nice to see that we don't work alone.
Yeah, very, very connected with all aspects of NHS Scotland's healthcare delivery. Absolutely. Janice, can I just ask you really quickly, you've been a nurse, you gave the game away at the beginning for quite a long time. And I know that you've done different roles in your illustrious career, just buttering you up. In what way is NHS 24 nursing different?
Yeah, it is different because it can be quite an isolating job because you are having a one-to-one with every patient, and the variation, Susan's touched on it, but you can go from a very difficult, sad call where somebody's really having, a personal crisis to a very happy call where, they're maybe in labour or whatever. So you do have all ends of the spectrum in terms. So no 2 calls are the same and no 2 days are the same. You come in with a plan and you can be sure by halfway through the day the plan is gone. We don't, our calls can last different lengths. It depends on what the patient is requiring of us. So I suppose it is the variation. It's the variation and the change and the autonomy because you work on your own. You make your own clinical decisions as a nurse within NHS 24.
Can I ask a daft question now then? And I do get asked this, honestly, I do get asked this quite a bit when people find out where I work. Physiotherapy on the phone?
Yeah. Have you ever had a sore back?
No.
So they're the people that can help you and give you advice and give you self-care and give you exercises, etc. to do. Again, they have the option of referring on if they felt that it would be more appropriate that your care would be managed by somebody else. But it's quite a new specialty within NHS 24. But yeah, it's been better.
It is popular, isn't it? And there's an app as well, isn't there?
There is an app, and it is very popular, but I have to say not yet as popular as our pharmacists on the phone. And we have a lot.
Is that the busiest part of the 111 service then, pharmacy?
No, I would say that the busiest part is still the nursing component of our clinical skill set. However, we have a lot of calls that are directly relating to pharmacy type calls, minor ailments relating to pharmacy, and indeed just what is this prescription I've been given and I don't feel well because I've been taking it, so what should I do next, etc. So we have a large number of pharmacists now work within our frontline component of the Treble 1 service.
I think people would be surprised to find that within Treble 1. I think, a lot of maybe the general public would think we just have call handlers who take their call and pass them to nurses. We've got mental health nurses here as well, pharmacists, dental staff also taking the calls. But a huge amount of our calls, particularly at the weekend, can be people, I'm not sure about this prescription, or you've started taking this medication and I don't feel well. And it's great to have the facility that you can pass them through to a pharmacist, who can direct them either they need to be seen or, we need to maybe change that medication for you. So it is a huge amount of calls at the weekend are, pharmacy related calls.
And just to put it into context around, we run the Scottish Emergency Dental Service, are an integral part of the Treble 1 service, and we have over 70 dental nurses work within NHS 24 frontline on the 111 service. So, people wouldn't always expect that skill set would be there, and very able and willing to give advice and support and care about dental.
Listen, Susan, Janice, thank you so much. I hope that's given people a bit more insight into NHS 24. I think we could actually talk for 24 hours about this. Any final thoughts from either of you?
Just if you feel unwell or you're concerned about something, then 111, we are here to help you, and also you can access our website.
And just remember that the winter is a really, really busy period for everybody in the health service in Scotland. So if you can manage your illness yourself, then do so, and then consider going on to our website, NHS Inform. But please, if you feel you need to phone 111, then we're here for you.
Mentioning NHS Inform, the web address for that is www.nhsinform.scot, and there are self-help guides on there, which are brilliant and can definitely help you get what you need much quicker than you might otherwise be able to, particularly when it's busy. Susan, Janice, thank you for Talking 24.